Hey folks, this is Dave Albert with a quick take. On this quick take, I'm going to talk about changing your mindset from a typical developer to a delivery mindset. So in the early days of using Trello to basically manage all of our tasks, I basically thought of everything in the way that a developer would think of them, and would basically split things up into multiple elements. So API needs to develop this, data needs to develop this, and iOS needs to develop this element, and then there's an operational bit. The problem was that it wasn't obvious to the team when there was overlap. So for instance, there were a number of times where, through my own poor planning, obviously, the iOS developers would be ready to implement something, but the API would not be ready. And so even with mocking that out, it was much harder to understand how that actually was going to work when it was integrated. So we went through a pretty long phase of not being happy with the predictability that we had. So we had a meetup. We have a number of developers in India who are part of our team, and one of them came over, and one of our marketing folks from India came over to Dublin, Ireland, for those of you that don't know, and had a discussion about how we could be more predictable and more agile. Not in the typical software development lifecycle agile terminology, but in the responsive to needs agile. And one of the things we came up with was that if we were to change our mindset to our iOS developer from India, Raj Kumar, he came up with the idea of switching our mindset to a more delivery focused mindset. And so what we did was begin to, I guess basically what you could say is we kind of switched to more of a user story thought process, but really what it was we changed to what needs to be delivered. So X feature, we want that delivered. And then within the Trello task, we split it out into the number of things that needed to be done to complete that. So we had one board we called the delivery board, and another board, the development board. And so we would, as a full team, including the marketing group, groom our deliverable board, and then from there, things would flow over to the developer board. And that definitely improved our process. We got to be, I wouldn't want to say that we were more predictable, because with a small team and a startup, you have unexpected events happen all the time. But we were able to forecast within the week better if we were going to be able to deliver something. That process still needs more work. We've started to integrate a tool called Product Board, and this was needed so that our CEO can understand better when things will be developed. So longer term planning. So we've had a hard time trying to lay down how to write a roadmap properly so that we understand what's going to be available when, so that she can go and begin to sell elements to our partners, customers, clients, users, etc. And she didn't have that And Trello really is not good at that. And I've had the discussion inside my own head about switching from Trello to Jira probably every month since I started. It's not that I like Jira. I mean, it's a good tool, I guess, but all the experiences I've had with it, it becomes unwieldy, and it's hard to keep the work that's important in front of you. And obviously having a team that is split across multiple locations, and we allow working from home, whenever it's needed. Most of us work from home on a Friday. And if you have any sort of appointment or whatever that you need throughout the day, that no problem. Or if the weather's bad. So, we want to be very flexible. It's also nice to have that camaraderie within the office. But we can't have a physical board. That just doesn't really work for us. So using Trello and Product Board has sort of worked for us. I mean, it's an ongoing journey. I don't know. It's one of the things that I feel the worst about my performance, is keeping the team groomed. I mean, not the team groomed. I don't go around like a monkey picking bugs out of the individual's hair, but, keeping the tasks groomed and prioritized so that everybody knows what they should be working on. We're very good at making sure everybody's working on the most important thing at any given point in a day, and pretty solid within a week. What needs to be done the next week and the next week, we're not very good at all, which makes it nearly impossible for future planning to do pre-sales development, pre-partnership development. So, laying groundwork for launching partnerships and sales. And I don't know how to solve that. I know we don't do a good enough job at it, and the royal we. I don't do a good enough job making sure that happens, because it falls on me as the CTO. My CEO, she is dealing with a number of elements that are keeping us in business, while we're still developing our product revenue generation. So, it falls to me to become more of not more of, but the de facto product owner and partial Scrum Master. I don't even know if you would call what we do Scrum exactly. It's kind of gone back and forth from pure Kanban to Scrum Ban. So we have a lot of really good elements within the team. I mean, the team is amazing. The way we work is pretty good, but I'm a overachiever. And most of the people on the team are, and want to be better all the time. So you have to go and look for your faults to be able to keep improving. So I don't know. There's no great point to this. It's just that we've had trouble. I've talked to other people who've had trouble. I've worked in large organizations and they've had trouble. So obviously there's a huge industry around the software development lifecycle and agile. And I don't know how to solve it. Well, I kind of do, having a product owner and a Scrum Master, or whatever the equivalent is in Kanban. I don't know what that's called. That's the solution, but we don't have the budget for 2 additional people, for that role. So I don't know. I've got a few friends who work very closely in Agile, and I hope to have them on the podcast and talk to them about how they think we might solve this problem. I don't know. It's just, the deeper you dig into anything, the more value you find in different areas. So I always thought that potentially a fully functioning, well-formed team could do okay with less of an emphasis on the agile facilitators, I guess is what I will call that, for product owner and scrum master. I mean, our UX guy, Felipe, who I hope to also have on the podcast, is really, he's amazing at owning the impact to the user, and definitely making sure on each thing that we work on that we do it to the best of the abilities for at least what's good enough. And it must be good enough, not garbage. It always has to be good. It may not be great yet. It will be, but that doesn't mean that he's able to necessarily do all of his work and also help prioritize what needs to be done in what order. So, there's not enough of him to go around to do design work, UX work, front end development on the website, and all the other bits that he deals with. And also on top of that, do this product owner role. I'm apparently not good at it. I want to either be helping facilitate the team, building the team, which I guess you could say that facilitating the team is ensuring everyone knows what they're working on and what's coming next. I guess it's that liaison between the business side and the technical side where I fail the most. I think I do a solid job keeping the team happy. I think I need to do a better job of one-on-ones with the people in the team to make sure that everyone is happy. But I sure do hope that they know that if there's anything that they ever want to talk about, they can always talk to me. I've told them that before, but yeah, I'm going to get back to having more one-on-ones. So this was supposed to be a quick take. Yeah, 12 minutes. That's not too bad. So I'll go ahead and leave it as a quick take. It's longer than I expected, and apologies if you expect your quick takes to be quicker, or even more to the point. But I think this, if you plan to be a CTO of a startup for the first time or a co-founder, it's all this uncertainty that you have to learn to, if not embrace, just not be overwhelmed by. And I guess that's what this really turned into. Planning is really, really, really hard. Estimation is really, really, really hard. Doing that on top of trying to deliver an amazing product for your users is really, really hard. So, yeah, I don't have a great takeaway for you on this one. I wish I did, but I really do hope to talk to some folks that are deep into Agile in the near future and see if we can't, discuss strategies that will help me and help you. So if anyone out there is listening and has any input on this, I'd love to hear what you have to say. As always, you can email me podcast@dave-albert.com or hit me up on Twitter @Dave_Albert. You can tweet at me or you can DM me. My DMs are open. So I hope to talk to you soon. Take care. Until next time, remember, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.